Hey there, Bridget here, day 6 of the challenge. For everyone who is engaging in the Facebook group, I want to thank you. It makes a big difference when we are in community with people who are traveling a similar path. So when you are reading, commenting, sharing your experience, you're giving us new ideas and you're also validating what other people are experiencing. So please keep it up. Let's stay connected and keep moving forward, supporting each other. And today I want to talk about the ways that spirit can present itself. We have been focused so far on opening the gateway, the pathway for spirit to reach us. And I thought it would be helpful to give you some examples of what faces you might meet or what energies will present as helpers to you. So I use the word spirit helper. People will sometimes say spirit guide or power animal, spirit messenger, guidance. In contemporary shamanic practice, we use the word ally, which means friend. All of those names are what we would refer to beings who exist in the spirit world who come to help us out. And those spirit beings can come from a variety of places. They can take a variety of different forms, and they can come from vast spiritual traditions or religious practices. So I want to give you an idea, because as you move along in your practice, you may encounter different beings who are able to guide you. And I thought it would be good to give you an idea of what that could look like. So I'll start first with what we would call power animal. That can be a guiding force. That is a four-legged animal, a winged creature, being with fins or of the water. It could be an insect. Any being from the natural world could be a helper for you. I want to just mention here that the helpers that come to guide us are not always the ones that we want, and they're not always the glamorous ones. I often, when I teach, so I teach people to go into the spirit world and directly connect with helpers to help them for their own healing and growth. And when I do, in the beginning, some folks feel like they're going to meet a great horned owl or a black panther or a jaguar or something sort of glamorous. And when they go in, they meet a carpenter ant or a mosquito. And at first they're disappointed because they're like, what's that? So I want you to know that your help can take on a form that you didn't expect. But it's powerful. The medicine and the energy of whatever being comes to help you is powerful. And there are very big teachings from small creatures. So power animals is the first. A helper can also be in the form of what we would call a deity, a god or a goddess from a pantheon of any religious or spiritual tradition. A few that I'm thinking of just on the top of my head. In Egyptian practice, Isis, Osiris, Horus, Ma'at, Ra, those are all Egyptian deities. In Celtic practice, Brigid would be, or Ceridwen would be a goddess that someone might encounter. In Norse practice, there's a set of gods and goddesses. In African practice, there's gods and goddesses. There are so many deities that come as helpers. There's also angels. Some folks have worked with and work with angelic beings, angelic presences. You may also encounter what we call elemental beings. They're very connected to the elements. Maybe the spirit of fire, the spirit of water, connect with you as a guide or an ally. Some folks have just a light. They work with the light, and that is their guide. It can also be, and we talk about this in Wisdom of the Journey, the shamanic training that I facilitate, because in that training, we specifically go to find allies who can help us on our paths and in working with other people. So we fine tune it and really go in and find a particular ally and then create a relationship with them. And so these are all options for what I'm my students and my people to be experiencing. Mythical beings like mer people or unicorns, dragons, those are all common spirit helpers. We can also should know that sometimes saints in the Catholic tradition or holy beings like Mahatma Gandhi or Jesus or Buddha, Mary Magdalene, holy or ascended type beings can be a guide for you. And also can be an ancestor, either a recent ancestor or an ancestor that's way back. Doesn't have to be any of these, but these examples are what you're most likely to encounter. You may encounter a being who you're very familiar with, or you may encounter a being who comes from another tradition and it's new to you. Either of those can happen. When we create space, we notice things and we notice who is interacting with us. And your job right now is not to go find one of these spirit beings. That's not what the expectation is at all. But I want you to know, as you continue to create the space, you're going to notice different beings may show up to guide you. And I wanted to give you some ideas of what that would look like as you move forward. Today's practice is simple. It may not be easy, but it's simple. So building on our practices so far, you'll do your grounding and your centering. You're always going to do that when you sit for 3 to 5 minutes. Grounding and centering. From there, I want you to spend 3 to 5 minutes in complete silence. No cell phone alerts. Put your cell phone in the other room. No laptop, no television, no kids, no distractions. 3 to 5 minutes. In that 3 to 5 minutes, you can breathe. You can use some of the techniques that I shared with you for focusing, the pressing of your fingers together or focusing on the point in between your eyebrows. Or you can just sit in this stillness. Your choice. But I want you to sit and pay attention to what comes up, because I'll tell you what is most likely to happen. And this can happen whether you are brand new at this or whether you've been doing it for 20 years. The monkey mind, the distractive thoughts are going to come up. Those are going to come up, as well as the possibility of that sense or that urge that you should be going. You're not going to be productive if you sit quietly. You're procrastinating if you're sitting quietly. All of these things come up, and that's good. Let them come up. You actually have to hurdle over them or just let them be, really, to get to the other side. If you're experiencing any of those, good. Keep going. And what this does, what this silence does, is it sends a message to Spirit that says, you are so important to me. And my relationship with you is so important to me that I'm clearing the deck and just being open to the silence so that I can hear you. Spirit will respond to that. Your brain might be telling you a bazillion things. And you might be thinking, I don't know how this is connecting me to Spirit. That's okay. Pay attention to that. Spirit knows that you are creating an opening for connection. So that's it for today. 3 to 5 minutes. When you've done your practice, come over to the Facebook group. Let us know what's come up for you. Whatever's come up is fine. There's no wrong experience. Whatever it is, it's important for your process. So come on over to the Facebook group and share it with us. If you need the playlist, all the videos that I've shared up until this point, it's in the link below. Okay, you've got it now. I will see you in the Facebook group.